Hey YouTube, finally got around to doing another update on the paint job or deciding whether to fix it or not on my 96 F150. As you can probably tell, I decided to fix it. So what I did, I spent about probably between 15 and 20 hours doing some body work on it myself. And then I went and had the paint job done at MACO. I replaced the front driver's side fender. Ended up ordering those online. Ordered one, took it out of the box, kind of glanced at it a while back before I did that last video, and didn't notice it actually had some fairly significant damage on it, but it was just like up in a corner, so I didn't really see it. I think the one that's on here is actually that one. Yeah, and it had this front corner was rolled in, like this whole point here was flat back on the end. MACO did like I said, I took it to MACO, just gave them both of the damaged fenders I'd received in the mail. They got that front corner sorted out pretty good. They did not, however, fix this spot here. I don't remember it being damaged when it went in, but it's kind of rolled over now, so it is what it is. They did not bolt the inner fender well back in here. Moving on back, before I took it, I pushed the window seal inside. Looks like this one kind of worked its way back out, so there is overspray on the edge, but I haven't actually pulled this one back out yet. But as you can see, this seal would normally be sitting up here, and before I took it, I pushed it in so they would get paint all the way back up under that seal, because if you don't, they'll just tape around it, and you might even see, like they did here, you can see the old paint is still just under that seal. But I took these completely out and pushed the one around the window inside the door frame. Really, you want to take off everything you can before you go have something painted like this. Now, I took off one mirror before I went, and I left one mirror on here and just took it off in the parking lot out there. The one I took off in the parking lot out there, they left I just left all the hardware and stuff for it in there, and they threw away my bushings there. Fortunately, I got some more to clean up. If you have a truck like this, you'll notice those are kind of cracked up and really nasty looking. I first went over them with about 80 grit sandpaper, then went over them with 220, then 1,000, and might have been 2,000, and then I ran over it with some plastic polish, and they came out pretty good. I didn't take the time to pull off the door handles or the lock cylinders on here, because I was planning to probably replace the door handles. As you can see, I got a little issue there where they taped around and didn't get some beside my door handle. This was a XLT, so it had the rubber moldings down on the side of it. I took those off before it went, and if you go on Amazon, it'll be like a trim tape remover, foam tape remover, something like that. You'll find just it'll look like a rubber wheel that goes on a drill, and that does a really good job of taking off that foam tape. I did not take off the old pinstripe before I went. I'll let them take care of that. They always seem to do a good job getting off pinstripes. However, they don't do as good of a job putting them back. We've had 3 vehicles with pinstripes painted, and it seems like they just pick a random place to put it back each time. I've had one come back here, here, here. Well, one of these is the original. I think it was here, it's the original. But yeah, they'll come back here, here, or here. This is where we've had pinstripes coming back on these trucks. Going down the bedside, obviously I took off the toolbox and these stakes and the sides. I also sanded down the tops of the bedsides myself. I just wanted those looking pretty good. Like I say, it may still have some issues later, but I made sure to get all the rust out of it before I went and had them do any work on it. The spot I did not get all the rust out of is because I knew I was going to have them work on it, was this dent behind the bumper here. So I didn't touch that at all, because like I say, I was going to let them deal with it. Had on the invoice for them to do it. They did not do it, didn't say anything about it, and painted the truck. When I came to pick up the truck, I asked them about it. They said they'd go ahead and get that taken care of for me, and held my truck for another 3 days, and then called me to tell me that they could not do anything about it because they can't get this bumper off. So it would have been nice if they would have let me know about that before they painted it, or at least get the rust out of there before they put some paint over it, if nothing else, since I paid for them to strip any necessary areas before they did the work on it. I removed the tailgate trim here. So to do that, it's a couple bolts on the inside of the tailgate and then some nuts on the very edge of the tailgate. I put on some old taillights I wouldn't have to worry about. The overspray didn't come from MACO there. That was me doing some prep beforehand. And again, some more dents and work I did myself on the tailgate. This also had the trim that goes over the wheel wells, like a little aluminum piece. Took those off before I went as well. Best bet for getting those screws out is going to be like an impact driver, the type you hit with a hammer or a drill. And if you do that, you're going to have to put enough pressure on them that you can noticeably see the truck pick up before those screws are going to come out without rounding off. Like I said, some more general, has a few small dings and such going down the side that I filled before I took it down there. I had a dent on the roof here that I had them take care of. That's one repair I'm very happy with. I can't tell anything was there at all. They did a very good job up there. There was no crease or anything in that dent. It was pretty simple push-in dent to fix. Coming down the fender, this fender, I took the F150 badge off. Did a little bit of work on the dent that was down there. I didn't have them do any work on that. That's just myself that I have to blame for that not looking real great. I took my windshield wipers off and the antenna. They did paint over my windshield washer fluid sprayers there. Put a old set of wheels on it before I took it down there so they wouldn't get overspray on these. They definitely got some overspray on the old wheels I took down there. Spot I'm least happy with on the truck, it's a little bit dirty up here now, but this rock chip guard here, the white section below the headlight, doesn't really have paint on it. It has a very thin coat, and as you may be able to see here, the rock chips are still there and very visible in dark. So they didn't hardly get any paint down in there, but they managed to get paint all over the plastic piece that goes below it. Hood came out pretty good. Obviously there's, it's not going to be not perfect, but it's kind of what you expect. So after you get a truck done like this, you're going to want to have them, you're going to want to let it sit for about 30 days. Preferably, you want to get this thing out of the rain for about 30 days after it's been painted, and then you can go through, buff it a little bit, wax it, and seal it. This truck could be buffed more, but this is where I'm going to leave it at right now. And like I say, after 30 days, you really want to get something on there to seal it. But before that, you don't want to seal it. And you want to keep it out of the rain, just to let the paint completely finish curing and everything for you. And that should give you your best results. Overall, like I said, I'm definitely happier with this paint job than I was with the paint job that I got on the red truck I had done. But it still has some issues. And we will see how it holds up with the 3-year